Hey, there's a lot going on here at the dog pound. Just had the house repiped, and the plumber's left a lot of holes in the wall, strategically located, and that's going to be my project for the next month or so. Plus I got some painting to do, so I don't know when I'm ever going to get to the range. But the plumbers revealed that the bathtub was leaking, and this is what it looks like. Got one of these things that's down in the drain, and I couldn't tell it was leaking because it was leaking underneath the floor. So the way to get this out, there's a tool specifically made to fit in here, or you could use a pair of channel locks like that. Then get a huge wrench and fit it over the channel locks, and then turn it on the jaw. Of course you gotta make these jaws a little smaller. And then you turn this out. And then under here was some dried out plumber's putty. And then you have to reach under here and pull out the gasket. This is what the gasket looks like. And this thing is so brittle, I never would have been able to pull it out of there. It would have broke. But that's what that's like. Fortunately, there's a hole in the ceiling below this room, so I'm going to go down and show you what it looks like under there, because underneath there is a shoe that this gasket rests against. So if you don't have the fortune that I have, or the misfortune of having a hole in your ceiling, you got to take the new gasket and put it under there over the shoe. Then you put some plumber's putty around here, put that in, and then screw it down real tight, and you should be good to go. Let's take a look at the other side of the house. This is the replacement gasket. It's called a bass shoe gasket. It's got a 1 7/8 inch diameter. And if you notice, this gasket is about half the thickness of the one I took out. So I bought two of these, and I'm going to sandwich them both in together. And this is what it looks like underneath. Get that line in there. I'll make it a mess. That's a new piping, by the way. See, they use blue for cold and hot for red, and it's a plastic called PEX. It's supposed to be super duty. That's the underside of the tub. This is the bass shoe, and I was going to take this whole shoe out by loosening this, and as I started loosening this nut, it wasn't turning, but this whole assembly pivoted out of the way, away from the hole in the tub, and the water was leaking out right there, and it got rusty, and you could see there's some indentations in there, and I'm gonna do a little sanding on that to clean it up better, and then I'm probably gonna put some JB weld in there that fit inside that indentation, because I'm a little spooked out. I'm afraid that the gasket won't fill that indentation and hold the water, and if it leaks it'll probably rust some more. So I want to get the rust out of here, and a gasket can only seal so much imperfection. There's a point at which if the imperfection is too deep, it won't seal at all. So I want to make sure that's perfect before I put it back together and then button up the ceiling and close it off and paint it. So that's what I'm going to be doing, and we'll be back. Looks like the JB weld has set up. Next thing to do is sand it down. When you do sand it, you have to use a sanding block to make sure that everything is level. And I'm going to use some fine sandpaper. So it's going to be sanding block with sandpaper. If you don't use a sanding block, your thumb or finger is going to push in and you will have an unlevel surface. By the way, this is the JB weld I used. Looks like that. This sets at 24 hours. It is available with a 5-minute set, but I don't recommend using it because the tensile strength is not quite as strong as a 24-hour. So get to work on this and move to the next. You clean the surfaces with an alcohol-soaked rag. Make sure everything's clean for your dirt. And we torque the shoe back into place. Just like so. Then run upstairs, take the drain, make sure the shoe is lined up by trying to screw it in. And the line's up okay. Notice that the shoe is not square with the bottom of the tub using the micrometer. There is a 3/1000th of an inch difference in the dimension. So it's just a matter of taking the wrench and putting a little twist in it. Get it nice and square. Okay, here's a new gasket. I slid a little RTV silicone sealer on it. Look how flexible that is. The old one was stiff as a board. And then just slide it in place and then run upstairs. Center the gasket with your fingers. And start the drain. Next step is the plumber's putty. Take some out and work it with your hands. I just noticed on the container that this stuff causes cancer in California, so real happy not to be in California for more reasons than one. So make a coil like this and then put it around. Feels like I'm back in day camp making coil pots. Push it down in there. Put your drain tool in. Turn it in. Are we in the frame, camera woman Barb?
Yes.
I'm not blocking the shot, am I?
No.
Okay. Twist it down good. And the plumber's putty should ooze out through the sides. And you want to get it good and tight. When you get it tight, just scrape off the excess of plumber putty with your finger. One thing I forgot to mention about the tool is you could get the real tool for taking a drain out at a hardware store. It costs anywhere between $10 to $12 and $20, $14. But if you're going to do the redneck way like I did, don't grab the tool near the top as the channel locks will twist. Make sure you get your grab it as low as you can without interfering with the tub and twist from there. That way the channel locks won't flex. Anyway, why don't we turn the shower on and give it a test. Let's run downstairs and see if there's any leaking. The water is running. I don't know if you could hear it, but everything is dry down here. A very good sign. Looks like I could close up the ceiling now. Do I hear applause? We have a happy wife. That's a rare occasion around here.